saying, May 29, inaugural speech of the president. I have peeped into the budget and I did not see subsidy. I have also been told by people from the outgone presidency that there is no budget for subsidy. Subsidy is gone. That was interpreted by the oil shareholders and stakeholders to mean that it's time for us to increase the price of petrol, and we saw it happen. First of all, it started like a scarcity, and then we saw NNPC move the price to somewhere between 480 and 570 thereabout. We saw that improvement in price or increase in price. But that was May 29, May 30, 31. So that was towards the end of May. The reality that emanated from the increment in petrol price was then felt the beginning of June. Some of us are still feeling it. Some of us have parked our cars at home. Some of us are not able to afford petrol. Some of us are not even able to afford the condition that is necessary for proper living, right? And let's even go back to the previous administration. Although the previous administration said they were going to remove 100 million people from poverty, by the time they were done with the administration, the statistics was, and I bet still is, that 133 million people were and probably still are living in poverty. So the conversation has got me thinking. And while we're still talking about petrol subsidy, it is looking like the subsidy in the foreign exchange sector has also been removed. And what I'm understanding is, I am guessing, from my own economic layman view, that we're moving the direction of our economy to a private inclusive economy, from the signing of the electricity bill, to many other things. What it means is we're looking at a private inclusive economy where majority of the things are done by the private sector. And like the permanent secretary, Ministry of Education, said when we were looking at the big headlines, he said government can no longer fund education and it's time to draw private partners into the educational sector. But while we are trying to do this, while we're waiting for investors and foreign investments, and while we're waiting to stabilize our economy, I am scared. I am really scared. I am scared that out of over 200 million people living in Nigeria, estimated to be somewhere around 211, 212, maybe if we do plus and minus, the people who have left the country, the people who have emigrated, we now see somewhere around 207, 209 million people. 133 of them are living in poverty. It's a scary thing. When we also look at the unemployment figures, and then you look at the underemployment figures, the percentage is also almost half of our population. And so it's scary as well. Interest rate somewhere close to 18, is it 18%? And a lot of things on my mind. And then I'm thinking, the conversation with the NLC, is it a conversation Nigerians should take for granted? Is it a conversation Nigerians should, decide to ignore like we ignore many other current affairs? Or is it something Nigerians should be really concerned about? And what am I talking about? For those of you who have forgotten, on the 19th of this month, Organized Labor, NLC, TUC, will have a meeting with the federal government. I can call it a tripartite meeting. And in that meeting, they are supposed to consolidate on certain resolutions that were made in their previous meeting. Some certain consolidations. But the most talked about has been increments in minimum wage. And I remember the former governor of Rivers State saying, see, NLC and TUC cannot talk on behalf of all of Nigerians. But I'm really wondering who will talk on behalf of Nigerians now. Really, that's a very sincere question. Because I've taken my time to paint an economic picture for you. But then I also understand that the National Assembly, the legislators representing you and I, at this early stage, maybe sometime along the way, at this early stage, are not going to oppose some of the decisions, or if possible, all of the decisions being made by the executive arm of government. And I'll tell you why. Because I remember the legislators-elect, or the legislators when they were legislators-elect, said that they were in support of the subsidy removal and asked that, the subsidy removal be given time and people will understand why it was removed. I also understand that both the Progressive Governors Forum and I think also the Governors Forum, the Nigerian Governors Forum, have also clapped and applauded the removal of subsidy. And I'm not saying they should not remove it. I'm also one of the many people who are saying it's high time subsidy is removed. However, the conditions, inflation 22.04% at the time in was it April? Nigerians were crying. Nigerians were battered. 133 million people before then living in poverty, and it's my opinion that more people might fall into poverty. So the conversation is a good conversation, and maybe NLC and TUC cannot talk for all of Nigerians, but maybe in this meeting we should allow them represent Nigerians. I don't know if you agree with that. I don't know. I'm just throwing out I'm just throwing out different opinions on the show this evening. Maybe. And if you say maybe they should represent, what do you think their demands? I've asked this question before, but what do you think their priority should be? Their priority demand? And I'm asking this question because if you remember the big headlines, one of the stories was NLC saying that their priority is to get salary award on June 19. And I'm wondering, salary award, according to the NLC chairperson, it's not minimum wage increment. It's some kind of salary scheme to help people feel some kind of succor as the economy continually bites due to the continuous rise in inflation, due to this removal of petrol subsidy, just like a palliative. And so my question is, if you were to be seated in that room with the federal government, or maybe you can also use this medium to demand of the federal government, what should the palliative be? What should the priority demand be? I know we've had this conversation before, but I'm rehaving it because the indices, the economic indices, are not necessarily favoring the common man. So what do you think the economic palliative should be? What would be your demand if you were to make that demand? NLC is saying wage award is, good enough for them. But do you think NLC should demand more? And if you say yes, I'd like to know what that demand should be. Really, it's a very, because I'm more concerned about your ability to buy items in the market. Also, you need to put into consideration or into cognizance that with the unification or the attempt to unify the foreign exchange rates, the naira would also lose more value at the initial stages. So if CBN at the time was giving you for somewhere around 400 and something naira to a dollar, as it is now, you'll be getting it for somewhere around 600, 700 naira to a dollar. So the value of the naira has dipped a little bit. Or that's not a little bit, it's big dip. So the question then is, what should be the demand? The government has to put something in place. I mean, I was reading the newspaper and Tinubu was telling the Economic Council, you see, you need to be up and running. You need to ensure that you do something, to salvage the situation. You can't make excuses. We can't blame the previous government. But I'm asking, what should be put in place? Because if you say refineries can't come up now. If you say industries and all of, they can't come up now, as in now. It's not magic. But what can we do? What can we do? Because it's a conversation we must have. Some of you feel you're feeling the brunt. It's not started yet, and I'm not the prophet of doom. I keep telling you every time I talk about the economy that things will be the way they are right now, and I'm telling you again that the future is also not yet bright. It's not yet bright. And I'm not a prophet of doom. No, I'm not. I'm just giving you hard facts. And so I'm asking you, what do you think should be? Because if you say let them share 5,000 naira, how many people will get it? These are the issues. All right, so a commercial break coming up. After the commercial break, I'll open the phone lines and I get to hear your thoughts on this. Remember the numbers 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003 for text messages and WhatsApp. Use the number 0809-030-6416. We're live on Facebook, Nigerian for page, active on Twitter, Nigerian for page, and live on YouTube, Nigerian for page. June 15 is today's date. June 19 is 4 days away. Tomorrow is Friday, June 16, Saturday, June 17, June 18, Sunday, Monday, June 19. What do you think should be the priority demand? Do you think wage award is good enough? I mean, if the federal and state governments agree to a wage award, what about the private sector? Do you think the NLC should somehow, trickle down whatever demand they are making to the private sector? I mean, when they made the minimum wage demand, it somehow affected the private sector. So maybe this can also affect the private sector. What do you think? What do you think about that? What do I know? 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Hard Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kalada Kurubatibo, and we're looking at NLC saying that their priority is wage award, and they try to differentiate between minimum wage increment and wage award. And they say wage award is the money given to cushion the effect of an issue, like it was done during COVID-19 and as it should be now that petrol subsidy has been removed. And my argument is, with all the economic indices, what should be the focus? What should be the priority? Is it actually wage award, or do you think something big, something that can really cushion the effect of more than 133 million people facing poverty? I don't know what you think. We're live on Facebook, Nigeria Info PH, active on Twitter, Nigeria Info PH, and live on YouTube, Nigeria Info PH. I've got Letan Barry, and Letan Barry is calling from Bori. Let's listen to Letan Barry now. 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good evening, Salada.
Yeah, good evening to you. Welcome. Let's talk.
Yes, my concern to the NLC request concerning the wage award. I see NLC as those who come to do eye service most times. Now they are beginning to see the action of the president, and they see that they have nothing to offer Nigerians and workers. They are beginning to come up with issues that they cannot end. There is one statement my dad used to tell me: if any fight you know you cannot end, don't start it. A lot of times the NLC has come up mostly when it concerns workers' salary. Father, you can imagine that a country like Nigeria, where we have all the resources, the economy, that can pay us even more than what they are paying as minimum wage today. I think that if Nigeria should pay 100,000 naira to the least workers, they have not even tried, because they have enough to pay this money, and it will not shake Nigerian.
So are you agreeing then with NLC that every Nigerian should be paid an amount of money to cushion the effect? That's what I'm asking. Are you okay with that?
No, I'm not talking about all Nigerians. I'm talking about workers. For now, even with the one I'm aware of, here where I am in Bori, I have 3 persons who are working in the local government. They are level 4, step 8. But what they are taking home is higher 20,000 naira, and they are family people, old and young. What will 20,000 or 18,000 naira?
So what's your point? What's your what's your point?
Well, they have more than 5 persons in the house, but the government is there bragging. NLC are there coming up.
Later, I have to go to other callers. What's your point? Your point is.
So my concern is that NLC is not sincere to the workers.
All right then. All right.
That is my concern.
All right then. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Letan Barry. I've got Robin from HA. Robin, welcome.
God bless you, my brother. They are only working and talking for a minute level of Nigerians, those who are civil servants. They are not talking on behalf of the private sector.
That can be
argued. Private sector.
That can be argued, though. But go ahead.
It can be argued, but it's a public domain. You know, Canada. You see, some of us who are not even in the private sector, when we talk about private sector, we are those who are employed by private sector. There is another level of huge population. Those who fend for themselves, the rural men, the rural women, those who go to farm every day to cut banga, to plant cassava, to go and do fishing. Who is talking for them, Kalaga?
Robin, and that's why I said we're going to extend the conversation to everybody. So do you think, once again, the question, that salary award is because when you say salary award, like it implies, literally, it means you're awarding someone something. So should everybody be paid salary, as a way to cushion, as a way to, or do you think something else can be done? And that's what I'm asking you. Because the previous government said they were going to be sharing money to the vulnerable, the poorest of the poor, from the $800 million that they were going to get. So the question is, do you think NLC demand is a priority and should be extended to all of Nigerians?
Good, Canada. That's what I'm engaging you. Who are the vulnerable? Do they have the data of those who are in the villages? Do you know that out of 200 million Nigerians, over 115 million Nigerians do not have access to television? Those women, those men that are every day hustling to go to farm, when they have access to even have a Android phone, when they have access to have light, to watch TV, they even have television. All right. So how are they going to pay them?
All right, Robin.
It's a ruse.
Okay, Robin, thank you very much. I've got Jeremiah from Peter Odili Road. I missed that one. Marcus from OG, welcome.
Yeah, Carla, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Oh, Marcus. Oh, interesting.
Okay, so I don't believe in salary award.
Okay.
I would have thought that the best thing to do is to simply increase the minimum wage, which is a more stable form of income, because it will help with the money can trickle down over time. Then for private sector, one of the quickest things the government can do is first to reduce the interest rate for private lenders, for banks, commercial banks. As of today, our lending rate is well over 20%.
I think it's 18. I think
24 or so.
Is it 24? I thought it was 18%. I think it's 18%.
No, it's well over 18%.
Okay, I have to check then.
So, no, and your repayment tenors are never more than 1 year, 2 years max. So you can't make any serious investment in the private sector with that kind of short-term loan with heavy interest rates. So if that burden can be taken off private sector, that 20-something% interest can be used to spread across, to increase salaries for staff. And then the final thing that we need to do as a matter of urgency is to unbundle the distribution network, or whatever can be done to increase the electricity distribution, because we're also spending a lot on diesel. If you don't spend so much on diesel, you can add more money to people's salaries. So that's my suggestion.
Marcos, 19% told for 85%.
I don't need to tell you everything on air. As I speak, I'm running a facility with 2 commercial banks. Whatever the government let them dole out. I know what's my contract letter.
All right then. All right. Thank you very much, Marcus.
You.
Let's get to this other caller. I've got Daniel, and Daniel is calling me from. Okay, Ogbogoro, I believe. So I'm going to take Daniel's call now. Daniel, greetings to you.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Welcome.
Yeah, Canada.
Yeah, welcome. Let's talk.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Daniel.
All right, Daniel, welcome.
So for me, I think the issue is I would have lost salary. Salary in the sense that it is not only civil servants that are living in Nigeria. Well, how about other people too now living in Nigeria? It means the NLC wants to go. Like they said this last time, they go for their people.
But you see,
Daniel, people fine, but it's not for us.
Daniel, that's why
we're not working.
Can you hear me, Daniel?
I can hear you.
That's why we're having a conversation. So, and yes, NLC, like it said, it's for mainly sometimes the workers, but it's not supposed to be so. If I should argue. However, I'm having a conversation because I'm thinking about the other people who are not in the civil service. So should we also get a salary award, or what should be the priority? And that's why I asked the question, if you were the one meeting with the federal government, what will be your demand?
We should just immediately put on motion on what the census of this country. So that we'll stop thinking about we are 200 million, we are 130 million is poor, 30% is this, all the statistics. Why not to put in our best to see how we'll now pick up, let the ground just start moving immediately.
Okay.
This time Mr. President feels is very serious about it. Because our data needs to be gotten. Like somebody was talking about the villagers, people over there. Yes, they need to be captured. So that when you're planning statistics and whatever you want to get it to being done will be in place. Instead of us beating around the bush, then from there you can plan. We now have people that will come over organizations, come over, give their inputs on how the country to be governed also. But for now, I don't think without us knowing what we are, our names, where we live, we can't get it right. It's assumptions. You see where somebody tells you they put in this billions in this scheme, put in billions in this scheme. At the end of the day, you don't even have any glaring thing that you can pinch on that this is what really happened in those things they said. But you see,
you're talking long term. Me, I'm looking at now. Because you're feeling the bite. You're feeling the bite of the petrol subsidy removal. You're feeling the bite of the increment in food prices. You're feeling the bite of inflation generally. And that's why we're having this conversation. So you deserve some kind of relief, respite. I don't know if you agree with me. So what will that be for them now?
Then they should be ready to be going to. Then they should be ready to see how they will get the map of every street in these communities and start going there physically to see the people. You come to that street, you come with your bosses, you come with that, you share the food there immediately.
Okay.
Or whatever you want to do. Because without that, I don't know how to reach the common man or whatever.
Okay, I
they
get
want
you.
to let me say, let them do it, and they'll defraud in there before you know to be alarming.
All right.
So if they want to really get it done without getting that and that, they should be in the street.
Okay.
There should be a new lead in the governance of how they create it. If it is humanitarian affairs or whatever that is coming, they know that they have staffers working together, they have timetable, and they meet the people. That is the only way. If not, I don't know.
All right then. All right. Thank you very much, Daniel. I've got. I missed that one. Elumba is back. Elumba is calling from Axillary. Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, if it is a palliative thing that they are talking about,
I'm
I heard
listening.
already they say to roll out palliative. If there's any palliative, they will give people that will be affected to us. Let them go and repair the refinery and make life stable.
Elumba, I remember saying that's a long-term solution. I'm saying now, what should be the solution for now? I mean, if you are going to fix refineries, it's going to take a while, whether you like it or not.
This is not necessary. If people can use ordinary drums to refine fuel, what is he talking about? There is a multi-billion naira around us. It's a very simple thing. Within 3 months, they can fix ordinary fuel. And some people are suffering. My brother.
Elumba, you've just said within 3 months. And I'm not going to argue whether that's possible or not. I'm now saying for the now. What are the measures that we can put in place so people don't have...
Okay,
do you know what it means to suffer for next 3 months? Okay, I'm listening.
When they do this, they are palliative when there is coronavirus. We only hear it in television. No around us that got it. It's the same people that have been eating our food. They are the ones that do it. They should not say about palliative. Palliative that are acceptable now is to repair the final. People will go, hey, we come, we'll go see the black people. This is some people get reserved now. When they eat those reserves finish, you don't go see talk what they happen to people.
All right.
People are going to reach 20 will beg you money.
All right.
People should do something about it. I beg you people.
All right then. Thank you very much. You seem not to be getting the gist of the conversation. Hello, Jerry from Peter Audley Road. Welcome. Let's talk.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, greetings to you. What's on your mind?
Well, for me, if I say I should support the motion of federal government increasing minimum wage or salary reward, I'll be biased to myself and others. Because in Nigeria, 95% of the population are not government workers.
So do you think?
Correct me if I'm wrong,
Jerry. I'm not going to go into a fight of data, but do you think like it's done in other countries? People should be paid.
For me, I think the government should distribute food, and then with maybe some certain amount of money to the local government chairman, because these people are the ones that will reach the poorest of the poorest Nigerians. Let the local government chairman distribute the food to the those people at the rural areas, and then the governor will select a few people from those of us that are in River State here. They will take care of all that. I just want the government to do something tangible. Let the local government take care of those people in each local government.
All right.
With food and some amount of money. That is my contribution.
All right. Thank you very much, Jerry. I've got Promise from Rumodumaya. Promise, greetings to you. Welcome. Let's talk.
Yes. Good evening once again, my brother.
Yeah. Good evening.
I think the solution is what we are out here for. I think, to me, if you ask me, Nigeria is by population 200 and something million people or thereabout. Why not? We hear the government spending over $1 billion, and we are just 200 and something persons. If you pay each Nigerian, even if it's 500,000, it will reduce poverty. There will be poverty reduction.
So you should pay each Nigerian 500,000. I didn't hear that. Is that correct?
Even $1 million, sir.
Wow.
It will go a long way to reduce poverty. People will be happy. We hear them spending over $1 billion.
Okay.
For frivolous things that has nothing to do with Nigerians, the poor ones. So why not use this money instead of wasting it? Pay poor people, whether they are working or not. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Promise. Braid is calling from Diob. Braid, good evening to you.
Yeah, Mr. Batibo, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, Canada, for me, the government has a statistics of workers. And they also have statistics of people that are not working. And if you go by that, according to the figure we are having right now, Nigeria has about 200 million people. Even that, for me, doubt if we are up to 200 million. Now, even the Abacha loot they are talking about, you can give each Nigerian 1 million naira. There will be this proof of amount.
No, I don't think I don't think your calculation is right, but
very right, Canada.
Even if
let us look at the subsidy trillion they are talking about.
Yeah.
Just only for 1 year, about 3 trillion or 6 trillion. Now, if you calculate that 6 trillion to 200 million Nigerians,
it still will not go round. It will not go round. I was going to do the math for you, but you would
Canada,
not let me. Round. Okay, no problem. I'm not going to argue.
It will go round because when you look at those that are working, you set those people aside. Look at those people that have no job. Have a data. You see, that is why it's really worrisome that Nigeria does not have a database. If Nigeria has a database, Canada, this thing is easy.
Now, can you let me do the math for you now, please? Let's say 50 million people are unemployed, and you want to give 50 million people a million naira. Do you know how much that is? That runs into trillions. That's the mistake you make.
How many trillions?
It runs into lots. It runs into lots of trillions. I'm trying to make you understand this, but you're not seeing it. It's going to be way more than what we think we consume, And that means the government will still not have enough money to settle other sectors that we want the government to settle.
Okay, Canada, if Nigeria really has a database, now, if we have a database, let's say, according to the statistics that about 53% has no job in Nigeria. Now, if you go by that...
40, not 50.
Okay, 40, has no job, is unemployed. Now, if we really have a database, we have DVN, and these people, they have accounts. Is it not necessary that, okay, the government is paying 150,000 naira to these people?
Okay.
To enable them to live and also to sustain them. I think it should go a long way.
All right.
And before now looking at the labor proposal,
all right,
and
then.
also handle the angle of the workers with their minimum wage, look at it and get their minimum wage.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you,
easy.
Braid. I've got to go now. Thank you very much. I've got Christian from Rumodumaya. Christian, good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Kaladan. How are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
Okay. I just want to make a little contribution.
All right.
Okay, in respect to this NLC and this, for me, in my opinion, I don't see anything reasonable coming out from them. Because,
is it because you're not? Is it because you're not a civil servant?
I want to do it as the last thing.
Okay.
Now we have NLC and all other trade union congress and all of them. Buhari, in all his wickedness, as some persons
No. I would
graciously,
not. Christian, let's use the right words on the show, please. Let's talk.
No, did you hear me? I said,
like I said, it's not something I would want to encourage on my show, please.
No, I'm making a reference.
Let's not make such references, please. Thank you.
Some people will say he's wicked. You understand?
I am not going to.
The man graciously granted local government autonomy.
Okay.
They have not actualized it today, and the NLC is there. He also approved minimum wage for the workers. Up till now, some state governors and the NLCs are there have refused to make sure that that policy sees the light of the day. And you can also recall that during former President Obasanjo's regime, there was no single year fuel price was not increased. And we had one of the former governors as the NLC chairman then.
All right.
So, what are we talking about? We are still rigmaroling around the same area. So, I don't see any reasonable thing coming from them. But if God helps them at this time, they do. Fine and well. So they should, instead of palliative or whatever they call it, they should make sure that the people get a living wage. A living wage. How much is $1 to our naira? Convert the 30,000 naira or 18,000 naira they pay to workers and then convert it to dollar. Are we not living far below poverty level? Man, this NLC and TUC and all of them should step up their game and do what is reasonable for Nigeria.
All right, then.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. I've got to go. It's time for a commercial break. After that, the news. Stay tuned.
No panicking, don't worry, they end today.